Okay, you may now open your eyes. Kain na pala tayo. Ulit.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Group 9. Are you ready? Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ay, wow. You're in Zoom and you have 3 students. Well, observe social distancing, ladies. Hi, kids. We are in grade.
You're 7 po. 7 po.
Louder your voice.
Grade
8 po.
Grade 8. Okay. Ay, hindi nyo naman tinutukan ng kung ano man yung mga batang yan.
Hindi naman, ma'am.
Hindi naman. Okay. So, who will be the first teacher, Group 9?
Ma'am Frances po.
Sino?
Ma'am Frances po.
Family name, please.
Ma'am Rasay po.
And then the second one.
Ma'am Gutierrez po.
Okay. Then the last one.
Ma'am Melu.
Grade 8 tayo. Correct? Grade 8, English pa rin. English pa rin.
Ma'am, bale grade 7 po yung nasa lesson pa namin. Bale sila lang po yung grade 7 pa lang pero mag-grade 8 po sila.
Okay, sige. So grade 7.
Grade 7 kayo pa lang, di ba? Ay, grade 7 pa lang.
Hindi anak, grade 7 ba yung yung nasa lesson plan?
Yes,
Yes,
Kung grade 7, ibig sabihin kahit grade 8 yung mga batang yan, we'll treat them as grade 7.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige. Okay. You may start.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mag-off ako ng camera, ha?
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi humihina ang signal natin. Bali, mag-open ako ng magsasalita. Okay.
So good afternoon, students. So I will be your teacher for today, and I would like to have a review about our lesson last week. So what we had last week is the 2 basic parts of a sentence. So what we have discussed is that the 2 basic part of a sentence is the subject and the predicate. So the subject is what or whom the sentence is about. So ito daw yung pinag-uusapan natin sa isang pangungusap. And the predicate tells something about the subject. So we describe the subject. So let me give an example. She is beautiful. So what is the subject here in our sentence? Zarina. She. So she is our subject. And what is the predicate in the sentence, Idel? Beautiful. So beautiful. So this is the predicate. So we should remember that verbs have the S form of the word for the singular. So what we mean by this is that pag daw singular yung subject natin, we should also use verbs na for singular also. So like sings, dances, rides, and eats. So we, as you can see, meron siyang S dito sa end, right? So may S siya kasi it is considered as singular. So let's say Zarina sings well. So Zarina is our subject, right? So Zarina is a singular subject. And so we use a singular verb also. And we use plural form for the base form. So we use base form now. We use sing. As you can see, there is no S at the last part of the sentence. So it means the base form is for plural. So let's say the children eat their meal at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Right? So we can see that there is no S, for it is a plural subject also. So that is our review for today. Before we start our lesson, may you close your eyes and relax.
Class, relax, okay? Okay, now, you may now open your eyes. Yes, how do you feel? You feel good? Okay, now let us proceed with the subject verb rules. So, what are the rules of the subject verb agreement? Okay, first one. If the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Or if the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. For example, she writes every day. Okay? She is the subject, singular. Okay? And writes is the verb. Now, what is the rule number 2? Thank you. Number 2, the number of subject is not changed that come in between the subject and the verb. So, for example, one of the boxes is open. So, one is singular and is also singular. Number 3, rules, some subjects always take a singular verb even though the meaning may seem plural. For example, someone in the game was hurt, okay? It was correct. It should not be were, okay? Number 4.
Okay, so for the continuation, we have rule number 4. The following words may be singular or plural. So these are all some, any, and most. Again, those words can be singular or plural, and um, and but it depends to the subject that they are pertaining. Okay, so let's have an example. Can you please read the example, Miss Edel? This one.
Most of the news is good.
Okay, so what is the subject in the sentence?
News
Okay, very good. And what is the verb?
is.
Okay. So we use the word most as a singular because it pertains to the subject, which is also a singular. And as you can see, we use this linking verb, and it is also a singular. Okay, next example. Can you please read this, Miss Zarina?
Most of the flower were yellow.
What is the subject?
Flower
Okay, and what is the verb?
were
Were. Okay, so is it plural or singular?
plural.
Okay, very good. So as you can see, inulit-ulit natin yung word na most. So but now, we use most as a plural. And it pertains to the subject flowers, which is also a plural, and the verb were. Okay, so next we have rule number 5. Subjects joined by and are plural, and if subjects joined by or nor, it is singular. Okay, so for example, Bob and George are living. So what is the subject in the sentence?
Bob and George.
Okay, very good. And what is the verb?
Are.
Are. This is the subject. So therefore, the subject is plural and are is also a plural. And as you can see, we use the conjunction and to connect the to connect or join the subjects. Okay, next example, we have neither Bob nor George is living. So how many subjects do we have in this sentence?
Only one.
Yes, very good. We only have one subject because as you can see, the conjunction here is nor. Pwedeng si Bob o si George ang aalis. And we use, again, the linking verb is, which is also a singular. So meaning to say, we only use or require singular verb even though they seem to be pertaining in to be referring in what do we call this yeah. Okay, next we have our rule number 6, there and here. So those words are never subjects. And those words can be seen in the beginning of the sentence, and the verb is usually placed after, and the subject is usually placed after the verb. Okay, let's have an example. Can you please read the example, Miss Shana?
There were 5 books on the shelf.
Okay, so what is the subject here?
5 books.
Okay, very good. So what is the verb?
Were.
Okay, verb. So as you can see, the subject here is placed after the word or after the verb where. And this word there, laging sinusundan ng verb. Okay, so next we have um, rule number 7. Collective nouns can be singular or plural, and depending on their use in the sentence. So let's have an example. The orchestra is playing a hit song. So in here, um, the orchestra is acting as one unit. So therefore, the verb here, this one is singular. So therefore, the verb is also a singular. So next example, the orchestra were asked to give their musical background. So in this example, the orchestra here is plural. Why? Because we use where as a which is also a plural. So therefore, the verb in this sentence is also a plural.
Okay. So you have tackled about the rule from 1 to 7. So let us now move forward to number 8. So I would like Shana to, Zarina na lang. I would like Zarina to read this rule, number 8.
Some nouns, while plural and form, are actually singular in meaning.
Okay. So it says that some nouns, yung ibang mga pangalan daw, is actually singular. Even though it look like a plural noun, but it is really a singular noun. So for example, mathematics is an easy subject for some people. So even though mathematics have s in the end of the word, it is not considered as plural because mathematics is considered as a subject and it is one unit. Okay, you understood? Understood? Okay, number 9. Doesn't is a contraction of does not and should not be used only with a singular subject. So yung doesn't daw is the shortcut, let's say shortcut. shortcut of does not. And ginagamit lang natin ito if we use singular subject. Pag-iisa lang yung subject natin. Okay? And we use don't as a contraction of do not and should be used only with a plural subject. So, take note of these words, doesn't and don't. Does not and do not. So, when do we use this one? Plural noun or a plural subject or singular subject?
Singular subject.
How about don't?
Plural.
Okay, very good. So, for example, Idel, can you read this?
She does not like it.
Okay.
Doesn't like
So, who is the subject in the sentence?
She.
She. So, is it a singular or a plural subject?
Singular subject.
Okay, it is a singular subject. And doesn't, we use doesn't because it says in the rule that we use doesn't if the subject is singular. Okay, good?
Yeah.
Understand? Okay, number 10. Shana, kindly read number 10. Rule number 10.
Nouns such as civics, mathematics, dollar, and news require singular verbs.
Bakit kaya nire-require na singular verbs ang gamitin natin? Because, look at this, mathematics. Mathematics, dito sa rule number 8, it is considered as a singular subject because it is a subject in the school, right? And even though they have S at the end, it is not really considered as a plural form. So we should consider them as a singular verb. So, for example, $1 million is needed to renovate the building. So, what is our subject here?
$1,000,000.
Okay, $1 million. So, where is the verb that we use in the sentence? Okay, yes. So, this is our verb and this is our subject, right? So, we can see that even though $1 million, even though dollars, it is we use is as a verb because it is considered as a singular. Okay. So that is the 10 subject verb agreement rules. So any questions, clarifications, violent reactions? None? Okay. So be ready for the following activities.
Okay, class. Since we already discussed about the different rules on subject verb agreement, so my question is, what did you understand in our lesson for today? Okay, yes, Ida.
If the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular.
Mhm.
But if the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural.
Okay, very good.
So the second question is, why do you think we need to know the rules of subject-verb agreement? Anyone? Okay, Shana?
Para maintindihan natin kung ano pinag-uusapan sa pag-usap.
Okay, very good. So it is indeed very important that we know the rules. Okay, so the last question is,
Okay, last question. How important is subject-verb agreement in our sentences? Anyone? Yes, Sarina.
Para alam natin gamitin yung subject at verb pag gumagawa ng sentence.
Okay, tama, correct. Now, let us proceed with our first activity. Our activity is entitled Fill Me, or yes. I will be giving you this activity and you will read and choose the correct verb that suits the sentence, okay? I will give you a minute to answer that. Are you done, class? Are you done? Okay, great. Our next activity is
Okay, so our next activity is, this is the directions. Makinig kayo sa sentence, sa mga sentence na sasabihin ko, and you are going to rewrite if there are mistakes in the sentence, or if none, you may leave the sentence as is. Okay, so listen very carefully. Okay, so number one, they just seems to have the answers. Okay. Okay, number two, nothing helps the situation. Nothing helps the situation. Okay, number three, measles is a bad disease. Measles is a bad disease. Number four, her pants was 2 sizes too big. Her pants was 2 sizes too big. Okay, and last, number five, the Orlando Magic have to win this game. The Orlando Magic have to win this game. Okay, if you are done, let us move on to the last activity. Okay. Let me get your paper.
So, class, as I've said a while ago, before we start our class, did you prepare any extra sheet of paper? Okay. So now you will construct your own sentence by using the subject verb agreement rules that we have discussed a while ago. So I will give you 30 seconds or 1 minute to construct the sentence, and you will present it to the class. Okay, even just a short sentence, just applying the rules. Okay, start. You will present it in the.
Okay. Is everybody done? Done already? So, who would like to go first? Any volunteer? Hmm? Any volunteer? Shana, you go first.
Um, she doesn't like donut.
Okay. So you applied rule number 9 in your sentence because you use present. Okay, next one. Karina.
She doesn't like the subject mathematics.
Rule number 9 again. You don't like any. So Ida, what is your sentence about?
They don't like the concept of the event.
Rule number 9 again. Ayun yung gumamit ng ibang rules. Okay, thank you. So, it is indeed that you have learned something. So, I will pass the activity to Miss Erica.
Okay, class. What might be the outcome if we do not know the subject verb agreement? Okay, anyone? Ano ang kalalabasan pag hindi natin alam yung subject verb agreement? Yes?
They may not understand the sentence that we're trying to talk about.
Yes, that is correct. And when we do not understand the sentence, we might interpret it in a different way. Okay? For our take-home activity, okay, you may take down the verbs and you will create a sentence. Okay? Number 1, was. Number 2, were. Okay, number 3, do. Number 4, does. And lastly, we have. Have. Okay, thank you, class. Goodbye.
Goodbye, teachers.
Okay.
Mom, we are
Ma'am,
done
tapos na po.
already.
Okay lang.
Right. So for group 9, we appreciate your effort in conducting face-to-face teaching and gathering 3 students
Yes,
as your subject. Anyway, I will be giving you also the evaluation in your canvas. Now for the rest of the class, we will have our last meeting on Wednesday. That will be, by the way, how many are here? Okay, so we will have our last meeting on Wednesday, a very short meeting actually. That will be the processing of all the teaching demos of all the groups, and then also a review of the 2 modules in Canvas. I'll be giving you also pointers for review for the final exams. So please attend the meeting on Wednesday. We will have it at 1 o'clock because it's very short. Our class period runs from 11:30 to 3:30. So we'll have it at 1 o'clock. Will it be okay with you, gentlemen and ladies?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay lang ba na 1 o'clock na tayo mag-meet?
Okay lang na.
Raise hands, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll have it on Wednesday. So our final exams will be on April 17. Tama ba ako? April 17. It was actually extended because of the holidays. We are supposed to have the exams on April 13, 14, and 15, but they moved it on the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Okay, so as I had mentioned, I will be processing the teaching demos on Wednesday. And I hope I can finish all the lesson plans, grading the lesson plans, and also your evaluation sheet so that I can give them to you before our next meeting on Wednesday. Okay, do you have any questions? Wala kayong questions?
None, ma'am.
What is, kasama ba natin Jenaline, si Miss Javes at saka Miss Malit? Andito ba sila?
Ma'am, wala po.
Pakiting. Ay, wala sila. Okay, so, di bale. All right, so that's it. That's it for now. I'll see you again on Wednesday. But you still have Canvas activities. Please check your Canvas. You have an activity which is due on Saturday, this Saturday, I think.